Alright. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Zunbil series of Crusader Kings 3 here on the Lord Master channel. I'm sure you noticed that the last couple of episodes that I've been posting on a regular basis, which pretty much tells you that, hey, I got my stride back. I'm used to, going through the motions of, alright, let's make this video for today, and then after you do that, then I can have fun with the other things I like to do in life. And then come back tomorrow, and then we'll do the same thing. It's almost routine, in fact. It's becoming a routine for me. And I'm pretty happy with that. Especially that I'm further motivated by completing one of its major goals that we'll finally get to do in this episode. And that is to reclaim the Hephthalite Heartland. We already reclaimed it all. All we need is to confirm it, which we need to get the level of fame up to Illustrious, which we're almost there, despite my best efforts of doing a Majesty Tour, holding a Sunday Festival, and then a grand tournament of the contests of wrestling and duel, which I won both of them, and then, and it's still not enough. I even had to build a Khanat, and even then, I guess we'll just have to be patient. Just stop spending money. And plus, we're also trying to get this place under control. And we got to deal with this Land of the Kafirs thing, which is part of the whole thing of being illustrious. And also, I plan on getting rid of this man. Although he's in the middle of a civil war now, but let's just wait a couple of months. In fact, their war just started between the two. And before I recorded, I decided that my nephew, Narendra Ditya, will be married to this woman who is the heir to one of the counties down in Gujarat. And was betrothed. But the reason for that is it's like possible little alliance from afar. And also to give a chance for my dynasty, even though we have 5 living members, we're living on a bottleneck again. And we need to start spreading the dynasty a little more. And as well as control other place to increase our renown further. So, there we have it. And of course there's my cousin. Still married. And also in future I plan on doing a forced vassalage war against 2 entities I want to go after. One is Chichal, because I really want to keep this pagan, although hostile, as a vassal to this mountainous region, because he'll be of great use to us. At least of the Karan house, since it's relatively new. And same for the Shahis. I really want to get them in for some time, but they've been ruled by some really bad, sinful people. But he'd be more likely to be amenable. Oh, so there's a Liberty faction and I gotta start swaying her even though she's my rival. Normally I'd be vengeful against my rivals, but I need her. $12 months, 10 months for you. 9 months, okay. I'm gonna give you this time to do a thing with your little civil war before I decide to get rid of you. You bailed on my knight. Good cat. How old is I? 18. We're just saving up a little bit of money to build up a war chest, so to speak. My horse now apprentices into the garden just as I'm heading inside. Let's stop to give a greeting. I see something moving in the direction I came from. It's a ferret, following closely behind her. Nana's new friend squeaks as I approach. Both seem to be happy to greet me. Alright, she'll stay with us. You got a ferret. He'll be called Little Firebrand. Ha 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 ha. It's got so many damn pets. Reminds me of that time, way back in Crusader Kings 2. Played as a Serbian king who lived up till he was 90 years old. And during his 80s, he had a pet cat, a pet dog, which they both get along, a pet owl, and 2 horses. Glitterhoof and Horse MD. What a man he was. I guess I'm starting to become pet crazy here. You know, there are other ways to gain prestige a little quicker. Let's hold court for once. Maybe there's a chance we can... Wants to write about medicine. That's a dare. Oh! Oh! 421 gold! Damn, where do we get that money? Alright. I'm gonna make a few exceptions, such as you. You're gonna be exempt. I recall there's another person around here. Oh no, we released her. I don't give a damn who you are or where you come from, but we're all gonna mass ransom. Some of you's got gold. And there's a chance to try to gain gold in Old Court as well. Hold on. Excuse me. Now. I mean, there are other ways to gain gold. You mean you could borrow it, but that would make me indebted. And I don't want that. Show me the money. So you got... I mean, a book about medicine would be great to have. I mean, I would like to go out and raid a few things, but that would, you know, hurt the income tax, wealth income and all that. I've come across my son and heir, Spitamana, and my horse Baradik, playing more together more and more often as they thought it harmless. Children do bond with the weirdest of things. I was stumbled upon them taking a nap together while some other children are playing close by. I cannot help but worry that Spitamana might be spending more time with the animal than with his peers. Just a 1-year-old, which I should raise personally. He is my child, you know. Sleep. Still here. I am judged harshly for my hospitality towards Honche, the criminal, who is avoided by almost everyone on the account of their wicked faith. My failure to condemn and continue proximity to this irredeemable fiend is perceived as open tolerance, tarnishing my court's reputation in the eyes of the clergy and faithful. They have forced my hand, and I must decide whether this Courtiers comes far away my affections for. Surely, something must be done. Are the Courtiers are its order place? This is Zoroastrian, which we consider them as a stray, but they consider us hostile. So he's saying she's a criminal? Terrified. I mean, we have no use for you here, so I cannot host you anymore, Courtier. So you can leave. Yeah, we're just stalling for time at this point. Let's step out of garden agree by the sound of laughter and nays. My son and heir Spitamana and Patrodon, the son of my steward Jemut, are chasing each other back and forth across the grounds together with my horse Bahartagan. It seems that my words were all for naught. No, Bahartagan actually helped Spitamana gain friends among his peers. Alright, I'm glad. Today at a quarterly meeting with vassals, something very unusual happened. In heated argument began myself and none other than Satrap Bozer of Yohol, which, again, I plan on getting rid of him by, try to make him rebel against me so I can revoke his title. That's my plan. To make things worse, the prick has started to ridicule and patronize me under the guise of respect and deference. Incensed of his behavior, I now need to decide how I will deal with this challenge, as my image is on the line. See if we can turn everyone against him. So, this is what may or may not happen. So, my intrigue skills 14. Not a schemer, I'm not deceiver, nor I'm a cunning politician. Never had time for that. Not calm or patient. Wrathful and patient dull lowers it, but I'm vengeful. That's different than wrathful. So, save 2 if we can turn everyone against him. If succeed, I will gain prestige and fame, and other vassals will be impressed by my display of leadership. Failure of that, I will lose prestige, and the vassal will become livid. Failed at the manipulative game. Oh, that's not good. Oh boy, made everyone mad. She was 19, wasn't she? Yep. 19 is the age of an average cat that can live that long. I'll miss you. I wonder why I want to have you around. Don't go away. I'd be willing to spend my fortune. And obviously no fame game for that little event earlier. But we're getting there, slowly but surely. Oh, peasant rabble. Where? Mujan, obviously. Because that place has been rather unstable lately. Land of the Kafirs, of course. Forced vassalage, just what I need. Should probably get that next. I mean, if you want to, you could reset it. I mean, the Swame Scheme power's been working for me, so I might want to keep that. Public debate between Let's free Pun Anab. Two intellectuals named Maprasi and Pun have arrived at my court. We were looking forward to this occasion, as they are prominent in local circles for their wildly divergent but interesting interpretations of the sacred stories and other theological matters. They are bitter rivals and seek to prove the other wrong in a public debate. I and the rest of my court will be spectators. Maprasi is known as a staunch traditionalist who defends the classical understandings of our faith. Pun, by contrast, is a maverick and rebel. Though she does not hold any heretical views, it's clear that she has rather innovative interpretations of Zunist theology. In their lively discussion, both scholars are quite adept at arguing, counter-arguing, counter-arguing, and so on. My courtiers mostly agree neither side had the upper hand on debate, so it looks to me to officially declare who won. My high shamanab appears to support Pun, she tells me. She proves we can always find new ways to approach Zunist theology. Maprasi, I'm afraid to say, blindly adheres to tradition instead of considering what Zun wants us to do. Well, Zun is the justice giver. Zun is fair. But for me... Well, I'll say neither of them convinced me, but it was an interesting debate. Do it for the fame! I can invite him as a guest, but I need 421. We're gonna get there, so don't do anything. You know, when he takes that place, he's gonna be the new satrap. Just to get ready, so we can try to have him arrested or whatever, and revoke his titles. That's my plan. Last night I had a most wonderful dream. I found myself basking in the realm of infinite light. Nothing but light. I saw before me many men and women, some of whom I recognized as my deceased relatives. Even those I did not recognize knew were my distant ancestors. We neither talk nor interact directly, and merely bask in a benevolent presence. After I woke up, I feel most blessed. That's a good sign. Okay. There's no chance of success. Turn and avoid the tour. Imprisoned your nemesis. You may have the opinion on that. What will that also mean, since they're both members of the Liberty faction? Would mean she too would join up? If so, then that's going to become an issue. If she's a rival, she'll be willing to join. Do it. See what happens. They're rivals now. Gonna get rid of all of you. Beat the heck out of both of you. My vassal, Count Danavaham, approached me, rage in his eyes and horse dragged along beside him. As it gets closer, Salt, it's my dear charger. I found this monster. I found this little monster. I think so. Wasn't smashed the business covered with piss. How can a horse do that? How can you drag my horse like that? Aha. He's just a horse. Guess you lose. So what does this mean? Does that mean it's going to be over? Lost the title, but well, you're still going to prison. So we'll be sure to take Balkh from you. He can have it, but it's a little bit odd, but it is what it is. We're just here to get that man. Plus, this is a decision that's going to make my capital move into Balkh anyhow. But I still wouldn't have all this. You still here? Good. I could have sworn I thought you were Zunist. What? Who cares? My friend and cousin died. Met in a horrible... You purged! Alright. I really want to know. What are you gonna write regarding medicine? I've spent a fortune for this. And we're gonna get some back. At least you didn't rebel. Gotcha. Pay up. I step out of my tenants, siege camps balls up before me. Bursting mass of humanity. Living and dying in filth and squalor. Pennants snap in the stiff breeze. Very long-haired commanders sit at tables, trading gossip and tall tales. Count Frank, private. Urgent whispers drifting on the breeze. My low retainer approaches and informs me that the siege is ended. I gather my bodyguards and head to the edge of the camp. The Arg of Balkh stands before me, a doomed and silent hellhole of smoldering thatched-roofed cottages wreathed in scorched dreams and regret. In the fields between, trees and flax are flattened, houses and barns are reduced to kindling bodies, a littered scourged village, flesh torn from bone by swords or trampled, stultifying in the muddy streets. Grieving widows call the dilapidated stocks. Spare it for once. And imprison everybody you see over there. Chet is your wife, right? Well, we're gonna sit here for a while. Okay, you paid 50. How much are you willing to pay for this? Will not accept, you greedy bastard. Okay. Guess what's gonna happen here? You can all return them now. I'm gonna get more money out of you. But you're gonna stay in prison for a little while. You still won't accept. You're gonna stay in there for a little while until it's time. So we gotta start making some money back. I discovered agents of my court obviously employed my rival and vassal Satrap Up. When ordered to withdraw, the Satrap acquiesced, but I might have to keep an eye out. Stick around almost. Should be a court tutor. You willing to pay the ransom? I'll answer that a little later. Sorry what I'm doing to the future capital of the Hephthalite Kingdom. Yeah, we can hold court now. Let's get ahead of time and see if we can get some fame out of this while we wait for our medicine book. Before the court is underway, my chancellor pulls me aside. To my surprise, she is brandishing a garish fan. My lord, there will be so many things in your court. I know you're somewhat challenged in remembering every face and from whence hails. I propose a solution. We require the court to wear dress which includes local style recognizable to all. She voiced her. For those without clear regional fashions, I can take a liberty to hire a tailor who can suggest some new traditional garb for them to wear. I never forget a face. I shall be fine. 88% chance that I do not falter in greeting guests. Gain grandeur and diplomacy lifestyle experience. 12% chance that I confuse the guests on arrival. Good. My courtier, Vidana, approached me with a spring in his step. My age, Vidana says, full of excitement. I have a great idea that could bring you either money or fame. You have amassed quite a collection of artifacts, my lord. So why not put them on display? You could charge of viewing your collection, or for free so that more people will view it. Clears before continuing. People do have a tendency to want the things they see. So the downside is that more people will try to claim your artifacts. Some people must see to believe, and that includes the less fortunate. So free artifact exhibition. More monthly prestige. An envoy from the provincial city, Agbad Prejig of Balkh, has come to protest the abuse her city has been suffering at the hand of its neighbor, Courtiers Kajarka, under the protection of the liege, my vassal Lu Arash. They occupy and repossess our arable land by force and threaten the landowners with spiritual damnation and material violence to make them sell their belongings. Beg you, my lord, do us justice. One second. Rashed, where's that? Oh yeah, you're up there. Title revocation reason for all these things. Should I or should I not? Kajarka is not above the law. So, county mismanagement. He's terrified of me. Would you be willing to go? You could take whatever you like, but it may not accept. Livid disappointment. All these things. County mismanagement is not a crime. So there you go, a little bit of fame increase here. And we'll be there very soon. Hey! I've always wanted to go hunting somewhere. And here's that chance. Greetings, my perceptive age. You are cordially invited to my hunt in the grasslands of Chaganian. Together we shall make a mighty sport of it. You have to leave within 18 days. Well, I'm in a mood to travel. And I need to be there as quickly as I can. Just give me something that'll increase a bit of speed. Or bring extra cattle, because many of my hell baronies have simple pastures. The pastures of my domain can be used to outfit my entourage of extra cattle for the journey. Activity starts September 4th. Bring in mercenary guards, and extra cattle will do. And these are the people that are going to come with me. Alright, let's go for it. Just like other children's age, my son and heir Spitamana sometimes lies and tests boundaries. However, he often avoids suspicion with his sweet demeanor. People always forgive him when he does get caught. Just wonder how much he gets away with. Oh, we'll keep an eye on this one. And now, let's just hope it goes well, and hopefully we don't get any delays on our way up there. I was thinking about starting a hunt of my own, but instead, he's doing that. And of course, I have to get back home and enact that decision. Once we're done. I would like to slay a beast. That's a prestige game. And increase the chance of success. Our journey to Jaganian has unfortunately brought us directly to the wastelands of Hephthalite. We were not prepared to undertake for this long stretch without a single source of water, and many of my companions have begun to look as awful as dried turnips. I need to do something, and fast. As I'm a man of diplomacy, inspiring speech might quench their thirst for now. 78% chance I could convince my entourage to stave off thirst for a while longer. 20% chance of failure. Got it. Alright, expect to have a second child. Ditch! Come on. That's a tiny bit of prestige gain, fame gain. Next month, we got it. You eat it. Told you. I've noticed that Simak avoids you more than usual. He always sits at the opposite end of the table and consistently refuses my company while I'm camping. Might not have the best relationships, but that attitude is starting to tire me. Especially when over here I'm defaming me. Katana's a miserable fiend. I'd be a way better shot than him. You dare to insult my son like that? Who the hell do you think you are? You lazy coward. As a vengeful person, I'll say, you want to know how it is? I'll show you. 100% chance that I win a fight against him and make him leave. Get out! No whips allowed, one would think. As we wait to arrival the rest of the guests, Legitimate State has started on the preparations. His gamekeepers check the grasslands each day for signs of quarry, while building a camp closer to the hunting grounds. I checked my gear and my horse many times. It won't be long now. 1 second. Look, next month we got it. I just need to return to the capital, and then we'll enact all these decisions. It'll be a new era. It'll be coming. Glory is widely known. Yes. I accept your generous gifts. Good on you. The night of August assembles the party as the sun rises over the camps of the plains near Chagarian. The local gamekeepers scout the vicinity for recent tracks and fumes. The stout buck is definitely near it, and the conditions could be hardly better for hunting for it. Ultimately, Jima decided he wanted to hunt an antelope today. Although there's a very low chance of doing so. Despite my extremely high prowess, but that depends on everybody, not just me. The noise the others fade is my marshal, Emir Rahman, and I stalk on the other. Also would strike a distance with Emir Rahman. Now that we're finally home, there's something I have to tell you about the Emir Asvandia of Shahi Akandhara. I don't give a damn what his secrets are. He's gonna be my vassal one day. Forcefully. That antelope is mine. Jimwood's huntsman, one else secluded, clearing downwind of the base is covered. Perfect place to form a bowline and await the antelopes driven to by the hound teams. Our host takes our move on them. Yes, we shall have a little ambuscade. So they want us to ambush it, even though there's a low chance of success. Why not to myself? Formed a Hindustani culture between Pashtun and Pajani cultures. We watched for the antelope to our concealed bowline. Tensing anticipation as the flushes cries as baying hounds grow louder. Jerry Montecourse. Quick, Nanaidava, take this shot. Nanaidava quickly takes aim as the antelope bounces towards us. Who's running in the mud? The arrow sails past to the tree line as the antelope takes a kick at Jima. Help him. He's been wounded. Why didn't you get him? You probably hesitated. No longer my antiquarian. Crud. Everything that could go wrong seemed to do so, but there were silver linings to be found. We returned home from the antelope hunt in glory. So I'm a hunter now. It's always good. Oh, you can do that now. Well, I want to do it at the capital. Because I'm in the middle of travel. My lord, my beneficiary, Ormuzd, smiles and gestures me over with ink-stained hands. The book is finished. I hope the complete work overshadows my lack of knowledge on the subject. Please have a look. A monumental herbarium, with detailed drawings of each plant and descriptions of its medical properties. Its cover is velvet that's been painted to display a repeating image of floral motifs. I'm impressed. Yes. Very impressive. Well done. I'd like to keep you around. Besides that, you're the court tutor. No courtiers meet the requirements. Damn, I would love to have you for that. We'll be back in 3 months. Just gotta get across the less controlled territory, which I caused. You two make amends now. Thank you. Turning a bend on the path, we come across a group of people covered in dust, emerging from what must have been an impressive tomb. They hoist burlap sacks that jingle and jangle, weighed down by the trinkets they've dug out of the ancient building. Times are hard, dear Shaw. Our families must be fed and doing harm to anyone among the living. Here looks up to us with trepidation. She clearly realizes it does not look good for them. The Shah deserves his cut. Got some valuable baubles. That's fine. We stayed on the roll slightly too long and the sun is starting to dip below the horizon. Out of the surrounding terrain, shapes start to merge and form into angry-looking armed figures. This air road has a toll. Pay up, says the biggest and frankly ugliest of the bunch. My courtier, Balkh, steps forward and weapons raised and looks to me for direction. Tolls are for peasants, and I am a Shah. They got intimidated and they let me pass. That's what happened. Basically, they're very similar. Oh crud, I'm traveling in the winter. It's never good. An imposing man is standing on the road ahead of us. I am Balkh of Zemendava. I've vested dozens of men in combat, and honestly all those fights are dull. So here I am, on this road, looking for someone better than me. Someone I can learn from. If you can best me in combat, I'll become a valuable and loyal servant. And so on this day I demand of me to you in a fair fight. What are you doing all the way out here? It might be less valuable, I win. 99% chance that I beat him and have joined the court. And even though he's craven, but having him as one of the knights, he'll likely survive in battles. So there's some use for that man. Maybe. Oh, not again. That's my seneschal. He'll be in our prayers. He's no longer our seneschal, but we'll find him. We'll find another. At long last, I'm finally home. There's nothing but a journey arriving back as the Zemendawar after a long journey. I look forward to resting for some time, but the call of the road beckons ever onward. My caravan master, Balkh, reports that we've journeyed for 260 days and traversed 23 baronies. Thank Zun. Go inside again. Wait till spring, so we can do all these decisions. Watching my horse thunder across the field, I cannot help but be amazed at the sheer power she possesses. The confidence which she moves. It's inspiring. I could learn something from this. Wait till March. Another song. Kanishka. Yeah, I know that name. I'll educate him too. So, you're willing. So born in prison, and so therefore you're willing to pay 50 gold to me. Alright, you got it. Now, you. Give me all your gold. And then he'll be out of my hair. Little Knishka. Sickly. But despite the fact that we Turco-Hephthalites are known to be stoic, known to be pastoralists, it's still not enough to get rid of Sickly for a young son like him. Wait for it. Good. Now he's out of here. Alright. Let's do it. The once mighty Hephtalites are scattered like the wind, reduced to rump states in the hinterlands between India and Persia. To reclaim our imperial glory, we need to re-establish our presence in the old core of the Hephthalite Empire, the impenetrable, indomitable Pamir Mountains. So, this is the result. We will have the Hephthalite Kingdom. The Hephthalite Kingdom will become the primary title. The Mazapanate of Balkh will become my new realm capital, which will mean we'll kick Bowser out. And then I will unlock the decision to restore the Hephthalite Empire. And as I am 33 years old and in very good health, I will be the protector of Zun's people, which this character, in restoring the Hephtalites to their heartland, has honored the name of Zun, a great deity who's been worshipped by a number of Hephthalites for generations. Now, the worship of Zun, like the sun itself, can once more be practiced in the pristine mountains where the Hephthalites once laid the foundations for their great empire. So this will add 0.2 monthly prestige for piety, 0.20 prestige, and monthly court grandeur change goes up as well. And in Balkh here, the faith will become from Maturin to Zunism immediately, and it's still Turco-Hephthalite culture as it is, despite the small minority of Khorasani and Sogdians, along with Mahayana Buddhists and Karamites. Our dynasty will gain 500 renown, and every county in the newly established Hephthalite Kingdom, there is a 33% chance that these cultures of the whole realm will change to Turco-Hephthalite. So, switch to the culture screen. We are small and insignificant to the world at large, so we are basically a minority culture in our own country, but that may change. Spring will come again for the Hephtalites. They once feared us, calling us the White Huns. We were a people born of mysterious origins, but united in a quest for power and glory. But we are not British conquerors. We encouraged trade, built cities, and integrated many of the peoples we ruled into a culture, prosperous realm. Yet, look at what remains of the Hephthalites. We become squabbling petty chieftains, clinging to the highland wilderness like terrified sheep. But no more. I have begun to reclaim our splendor and reinforce our identity by restoring our rule over the core of the old Hephthalite state in the Pamirs. We will no longer rule over the desolate ruins of our former glories. But there is still much to be done. We need to focus on the expanding Hephthalite influence. The question is, where first? Oh, look at this. Cannot be altered, so choose carefully. Take a drink, and I'll have a think about it. So we either choose north in the vast steppes and mountains where we came from, which the Empire of Turan becomes the de jure liege of the Hephthalite Kingdom, in which we would have northern Hephthalite territories for 20 years. Martial per level of fame plus 1. Knight effectiveness plus 10%. Vassal levy contribution. If you or another ruler manages to restore the Hephthalite Empire later on, you will receive bonuses related to war in the military. And if you still follow it, also get the Warriors of Zun doctrine. This cannot be altered, so choose carefully. Or we could choose south into Persia and India, where we learn trade and culture, in which the lands of the Persian Empire becomes the de jure liege of the Hephthalite Kingdom. So basically, move that out of the way. So Kabulistan and the lands of Kutal and Badakhshan and Balkh have become Hephthalite Kingdom. Which also means, will we be part of, well, I mean, this is for Hephthalite Kingdom. Should we be part of the Persian Empire, or should we be part of Turan? That is the question, but allow me to answer that for you, and I'm saying that on a historical basis regarding the territory of how much they control throughout Central Asia. Even when I looked up the image of the territory of the Hephtalites during its peak around 500s AD, most of the territory actually stayed up in Turan and into the Tarim Basin, which, to be honest, but again, this other option, the Southern Hephthalite territories, this is for diplomacy, which is always good. Stewardship per level of fame, that's always nice. With different cultures opinion and different faith opinion, up a bit. But that's only if you restore the Hephthalite Empire later on, you will see the bonuses, commerce and culture. And if you still follow it, you will get the traders and artisans of Zun instead. That one's a little, compared to the others, so let's go north. Now this is for 20 years. So martial per level of fame goes up. That's for me. And our knights will fight more effectively. And those vassals will give me more levies. So now, this character who restored the Hephthalites to their heartland of the Pamirs is now looking northwards for the next step of their imperial ambitions. Though they have since adapted many customs and skills of the peoples they have conquered, the Hephthalites, who were once called White Huns by their foes, are fearsome warriors at heart. And so this character believes that the destiny lies in the rugged steppes and mountains. Historically, the Hephthalites did expand as far west as Khwarezmia and as far east as Kucha. So I'm willing to expand into Transoxiana, Khwarezmia, and the Tarim Basin. In other words, we're going towards the direction of the Silk Roads instead of down towards the lands of the Persian Empire, which I have no intention of going down there, despite what the vassals are doing. But that's at their behest. I'd rather go north. Conquer Sogdia, Fergana, and parts of Kashgar, Khotan, Karasha, and of course, Khwarezmia. But, of course, that depends on what the title of the Hephthalite Empire is going to give me. So, to the north, where we once came. And now, centuries ago, the Hephthalites struck fear into the hearts of many across Iran and India, earning the moniker of White Huns. Times changed, however. They splintered into petty, corrupt chiefdoms, some far from the heartland of Pamirs. Yet times are changing again. The resourceful Shah Katana, claiming himself to inherit the legacy of the White Huns, has re-established Hephthalite control over the Pamirs, and started to look northwards to the steppes to rebuild a Hephthalite power through war and might. The source of the original strength, he believes, while some say it is merely the last gasp of the dying Hephthalite state. Others who understand the people of these snowy mountains know better that they are worried about a Hephthalite revival. After all, winter doesn't last forever. Spring comes, snows melt. Snows always melt. Could this be a new spring for the Hephthalites? And it is. So now it's de jure part of Turan. And if you wish to form the Empire of Turan, you've got to have a lot of counties, even though most are just that, but I'd rather go for the prosperous areas. But in actuality, our real goal is to restore the Hephthalite Empire. To do that, you've got to completely control the territories of the former Hephthalite Empire. And this is the outline. So this means we have to include Punjab, Kashmir, Transoxiana, pretty much. But they did expand outwards into Khwarezmia and to Kucha in past. And a new power has rose, Akshay. Even though they are separated by mountain pass, they're Tuyuhun, but they're Buddhists, so no issues with them. They defeated those Manichaeans, but who knows if the Manichaean throw will rise again. However, there are those other pagans that we do have issues with. I did say I did have plans to go down to India, so now we have an excuse. Conquest wars will be the same, as you wish. Transoxiana would be easy. And I had plans to vassalize them. Because we could do forced vassalization, which you can't do that because holds too many counties to be vassalized. 1. Of course, there's also this option, where we could just conquer the damn place, seize all the territory, and these will be my vassals. And of course, there's these tiny little areas, which always with the mountains, because we have to. But yeah, the idea of forming the Hephthalite Empire is easy, in which will be called a Khan of the White Huns because of taking the northern path. If 1,000 renown, warriors of Zun. All this. You have to hold a kingdom or an empire. So now I hold 2 titles, which is never good when you have all this, but I have a long life to live. And plus, the more you expand, the more you're going to need to form duchy titles to keep everybody in line. we could do the forced vassalization of him, which is the one I've always wanted. That's because the people of that culture and of that faith are useful to me. So, take a drink once more. Plus, your capital did not move. Oh, where is my capital? Because normally I would have that symbol. One second. It is the capital, but I do not have possession of Balkh. Okay, I am in Balkh, but I don't have that title. He is not my direct vassal. I'd love to have that man arrested again, but we gotta contend with him now. What you say? Hey, can you retract that vassal to me? He'll accept, but it's tyranny. Because, you know, I need to get rid of this man so I can move to my new home, which I'm already here apparently. So, please. I accept your retraction. So I think, although I think it is unjust. I'm aware. But he's already been punished. Though I wish to get rid of him. Though we need to do something to make him look bad. Or just tell him to get out. Oh, revolted against me. Is a known criminal. Nope. Guess this issue is not over yet. So, Ray's here. Here we go again. This time I'm leading. And it takes far less time to gather an army since this. So basically, what it said, I'm located in Balkh, that means I'm outside and I'm like, hey, open the door. This place is mine. And they'll say, no. I guess we'll fight once more. So before we even think about expanding, we have to take care of internal issues once more. I'll compensate you one day. Ah, good. My horse now. My horse now is good by many use. Now the pastime does not spare horse. Shay was not as young as she once was. She's a bit distant and alienly. As a nail beside her, she hears a heavy sigh of contempt. She cannot find a straight literate. A gently stroke of cream coated this to her labored breaths longer to the night. Just a soft sounds makes her sleep. Listen to the ever-lengthening pause between us. I listened to silence. I will miss you, Nana. Once we take care of Balkh, it'll be a welcome. Frontier Fortress Benefactor. My vigilant marshal, Mihraman, has lately grown concerned over the state of our frontier defenses. You must at once make a visit to the fortresses in the Mazapani and the Vakan Marno. It will greatly improve the morale of your soldiers, who have otherwise grown quite forlorn. It pauses, but I should mention that it has been rumors, completely unfounded, about a minor disease outbreak. Well, that's always good for more control growth. Very well, I should go. Spend little money. Won't take the health penalty, but my culture keeps me... Damn, I would love to have that. But that's just too much. Plus money's going into war. Alright. Time for you to leave. Which means he's going to go to war once more. Your wisdom and mercy are legendary. Is that so? This capital is mine. Balkh, my courtier, frets all today, evidently trying to find right words. At last, to make our way to thine big issues. My liege, I hear rumors that Ibrahim, the Malik of Gilgit, has come to see us. The focus is empty. He talks openly of the illegitimate Shah of Akan, who daily serves his rightful lands of retinues. That venomous buffoon! While a meeting with my counselors, it was apparent that the savvy Benibshen Matita of the Hephthalite Kingdom. It's no longer called the Zunbil Shadam, it's the Hephthalite Kingdom now. She's having plans of her own regarding the management of my domain. In fact, her ideas are sound from an economic point of view, and my coffers will stand to gain if I see to her will. There are considerations that on my counsel or other approaches, and yet the decision to challenge her is mine and mine only. Oh, God. I'll reach for a great compromise, so here's what's going to be. 50% chance that I gain prestige and a bit of gold, and lose control a little bit, which shouldn't affect me too much. Except in Mujan. And the Vassals will be happy with me. 50% chance of failure, and they'll like me less. And failed to reach a successful compromise. I am not surprised. Still around. Oh, you're infirm. I don't know if you're that good of a tax collector anymore, but go find an animal. While you're at it, what's your aptitude now? Thank you for complimenting my horse. Your aptitude is average. You're not as good as you once was. There goes my rabbit Newt. Get used to the fact all your pets are getting old. Oh, Balkh. I step out of my tent and siege camp sprawls out before me. A roster affair of burnt apple and litter and roast chicken, bonfire smoke and foul breath, horse manure and blood and death, pennants snap in the stiff breeze. The work is endless. The earth is a morass of mud and bodies. The air is foul and musty, beneath the canopy of tarps that covered the tents. The sweet scent of horse and sweat and leather intermingled with mixtures of blood and dried shit that kick our boots and cloaks. My Lord Retainer approaches and informs that the siege is ended. I gather my bodyguards to the edge of the camp. The Arga Balkh stands before me, a charred, blackened ruin. Trebuchets and catapults litter the field, bodies strewn about, limbs piled up in mounds. A man's brain and brown viscera lie sprawling in his crushed skull, black veil doing well in despair. Please spare it. And a prison, everyone. After getting a little too close to the action when besieging Balkh, I found myself caught with a nasty gash across my face by the tip of an arrow from a lucky foe. I've had worse, but it's certainly not a pleasant feeling. Wandering back to the main battle camp under the cover of the shield, I end up standing next to a tacky-looking makeshift catapult, and watch as it wildly launches a ball of rocks towards the lucky archer that hit me. Smiling for a second in revengeful wincing and pain from the movement of the cut on my face, I glanced back at the siege weapon. In the future, maybe reevaluate my positioning on equipment in these sieges. Lucky shot. I learned from the siege, so now I'm a military engineer. I should definitely lead my troops into the battle for the future. Well, it's curtains for you. I've become a very dreadful ruler as of late. Now get out of here. Finally here at my new home. And I am here at court. Oh dear. I'm training in the medical field to give me an emergency in this. Oh, don't do that. I'm gonna give one of the lands away. Despite the fact that I made a good living here, but we're so culturally disconnected from this place because the Khorassani people kept moving in here. Despite the development progress we've been making, I mean, it was 3 when it was 84 years ago, and done a good job with the development, but that time has passed. Balkh is my new home now. So, I'm gonna miss this place. Oh, let me do the thinking first. He has no claims. Still on your way. You know what, nephew? You should hold Zemindwa. You should hold it. So off you go then. Mind the vassal limit. Forget about this place. Balkh is the priority now. And get me a new seneschal. Need to hire a wet nurse, too. Okay. Which one of you is very good at stewardship? You. The man we just imprisoned, and you're a Reaver too. Alright. Good to know. You're good at everything. Okay. You're coming in. Need your help. you're one of us now. So I need you to be my seneschal, just based on the skill that you got there. Every little bit helps. What else? Wet nurse. Yes. Need one. And also a tax collector too. 2 of them. Alright. They're both good. I'll pick you because you're younger and you're going to be around a lot longer. And remember, this is has to be a combination of all these skills and their high opinion towards me. And plus, you're terrified of me, so you're not going to do nothing to me. So every little bit helps. You served me well, though, but you're getting old. Much better. You have average aptitude. You could have this too. Two female tax collectors who are going to be good at their jobs. I nod my head in approval. So let's just focus on the here and now. Well, actually, you know that we mentioned about Mujan and that issue? We gotta consider with the Kafir tribes. Especially those up there. And in Chitra, which will vassalize one day. The tribes people known as the Kafirs to the Muslims have been a thorn on the side of the settled peoples for generations. As a powerful and respected ruler following a similar religion, perhaps I could negotiate an agreement with the ones living in my territory. So the land of the Kafirs, county modifier, will be removed from one of my counties, and the concessions to the Kafirs county modifier will be temporarily added to the county you choose. So for historical context, for centuries, the so-called Kafirs of the Pamir and Hindu Kush resisted incursions by followers of organized religions, from Muslims to Buddhists and Hindus. The Kafirs even launched many raids on their territories well into the Victorian era. We have all the requirements, and you have to be either Zunist or Peristani, basically the Deswazist faith. So shall we start negotiations then? Take a drink. For generations upon generations, stretching back to the age of myth and legend, the fierce highland pagans of the Pamir and Hindu Kush mountains, dubbed as the so-called Kafirs by the Muslims, have staunchly resisted incursions from their more developed neighbors, even those who are fellow pagans. However, the calculus of the religion's politics is changing, given that there are more leaders like me who follow a similar faith as they do. In other words, given our shared customs and beliefs, these Kafir tribes are no longer isolated and alone in this world. With some effort, I believe we can build a productive relationship. I want to negotiate with some of the Kafirs living in the territory I normally rule. Or perhaps find a way to encourage them to integrate with their neighbors. We'll negotiate with the tribe with Mujan. So, this is what the land of Kafirs is, since some of you are wondering about that. For generations, some of the valleys and mountain passes of this region inhabited by various pagan tribes that fiercely resist any subjugation or influence of the organized Buddhist, Zoroastrian, Hindu, or Muslim states. So fierce that they often extract regular tribute from their non-pagan neighbors. Wise rulers typically leave them alone, and so their ancient way of life is mostly undisturbed. All in all, these highlands between Afghanistan, northern India, and Tibet are derisively known to Muslims as Kafiristan, the land of the infidels. So this causes more hostile raid time increase, while the holding taxes and control was a real issue along with the popular opinion. Now give them concessions to them. This will at least, reduce the penalty of it while grow more development, in which this current generation of countries in the region are becoming increasingly integrated and friendly to the more developed neighbors, given their shared cultures and beliefs. So we solved that little problem. But over there, not yet. That's up to them. So that'll solve that little issue for a while. Okay. Anything else? No, that's pretty much it. You're just going to sit there and try to get this capital into control fast. Which will take about 6 years. There's plenty of income to be had here. As I lie in bed, constrained by my wounds, I have time to reflect on the meaning of life and how tenuous my grasp with all is. My fate rests partly on my constitution, partly on the care I receive, but mostly on luck. As time passes, a conclusion approaches, but in the end, I'm ready to accept my destiny. Let's hope for the best. If I die, the Hephthalite Kingdom and the Shadow of Kabulistan will split between two children, Spitamana and Kanishka. There's a 3% chance that I die, though. So don't get too worked up over it. I'm all better now. Alright. I hope these internal wars that we've been having here did not increase the offensive war opinion. It did not. Good. With a mind to provide the best care for our children, I've had my functionaries seek out able women for the role of wet nurse. I presented a few locals for my judgment. They're both good, but I'll take the cheaper option. 4 dams is good enough. Is that a Siberian man? That's a first. There's a bunch of county corruption here. Lack of sheriffs, bandits running rampant. That's why we gotta fix this, and fast. And that's also another reason why I'm still keeping harsh rule. I am willing to improve all this. Accused of decadence. Oh, Kanishka. He's gone. Died from being sickly. Rest in peace, little Kanishka. As I lean over the map in the council chamber, a sudden creak turns my head towards the door. My son, Spitamana, appears in the hallway like the wind towards me, shrieking, "Hugs!" He leans in closer and closes my hips in a firm hug. I look at him, a hidden tear in my eye while my hand is stroking his head in an effort to replicate the gesture. You're a good son. Don't cry. Do not cry. Good man. You are the first man to take the knee to the man who is the Shah of the Hephthalite Kingdom. Or Hephthalite Shah, but that depends on who you ask. Negotiate an alliance with you. You know, hang on. Somebody wants to kill my rival. He's made plenty of enemies. Keep going. Get another bodyguard. I remember we lost one. Well, man, you'll do. I would like to spend my money more on doing that because reducing men-at-arms maintenance is always good when you have cores. The bonfire sparks just blaze up in the night sky with the smoke, but I can't enjoy the scene as a normal. My rival Alp stamps triumphantly in front of the fire, challenging me to approach. In her hand, my very own artifact, modest gemstone, stolen from me by that snake. Not one step closer, Katana. Your precious bauble burns if you move a muscle. Ab! I shout. A third of me, which is mine, will have no further quarrel. Abster grins in response. Was in possession of the fire. Look at you. You afraid to face me? Let's fight. Right here, right now. My Turco-Hephthalite sword, and she has her own sword. Sad twitch about begins. Unexpectedly, she managed to swing a vicious kick from my shin, momentarily helping me. Attack first, attack hard, on guard. Try to overwhelm and start the battle. Putting all my strength into my first strike, I leap straight for holding my sword high to a powerful cleat that sends reeling. Well aware that she's utterly outmatched. Ab hurls herself at me bodily, forcing me back as all the desperation to doom. My form is good with only small arms. Stance formidable. My opponent is still holding on my blows well, but she seems close to faltering. Oh, she did that too. Better women than you have died trying to break my guard. My sword is the better protector than any shield, parrying, countering, and guarding against her every move. Where she moves her sword, my sword is there, waiting, spotting an opportunity. Lunges forward and headbutts me hard in the face. I reel backwards, wrong-footed. My form is good with only small arms. Stance passable. My opponent's guard is fierce. I feel far from victory. Damn her! Taste silver, fiend. I'm willing to throw money at her. Snatching a heavy purse of monies from my waist, I lob at that. Hits her right in the face, giving me a brief opening for a quick slash with my sword. Stay stock, still see me, hoping I'll just throw down my sword. Form is excellent, little chance of mistake. Her stance is a disaster. Throw it. I defeated her. Arm struggles to her feet, battered and bruised after our duel. Her eyes burn as brightly as the bonfire. She decides to seize me, tuck my modest gemstone in my arm. As our companions wander back from their previous station some way away, their conversation slowly trails off as they find a pair of us face off, one victorious and one defeated. Look at my modest gemstone, and then back to the one would risk life and limb to burn it. Now, take it. May always remind you of this night. I don't want that damn thing anymore. Put on the preservative box. Factions in the realm. Assemble the General States as recommended. As I am savory dinner in the company of Ab, my high shaman, proceeds to tell me about a great acquaintance of her that would be a perfect fit of my court. As we finish our dishes, goes on about the great qualities that this shady individual displays and how perhaps he could be employed as a trusted advisor on my council. course, this man's probably his friend and savvy. His friend and my savvy high shaman will leverage a favor on me if I make a move to hire her discreet character. Alright, it could be an opportunity to add a new personality to my court or even my council. Ooh, yeah. Sorry, I'll dismiss that notion. I don't want to spend excessively. I want to save my money on that. No. She storms up to me, dragging a pitiful jump out. Commoners from Balkh keep sneaking into the menagerie Dovia collection. They think it's a public display. He stares at Sweetie Boy. It's a staring them to say otherwise. It's upsetting the animals. What's the public opinion of Balkh? It's good. They're gonna go if they have to pay. Just need more income. Because Balkh will be valuable to me once we get it in full control. While I was preparing to leave my castle to attend a ceremony at the local market just outside the walls, I was interrupted by Satrap Orishvada of Ishkangu, together with his entourage in the most urgent tone. As I calmed everyone down, I got the final word that the murder attempt against me was prevented by my internal security at the last moment. My spy master continued to explain the fatal interrogation of the assassin, together with a few of the material clues, pointed to the wicked deed which was ordered from one of my vassals that was probably egregious enough for me that such a person nowadays capable of planning such a despicable act. Well, magnificent job. But that increases my stress because I want to get my vengeance on somebody who's trying to do that to me. Now, cousin-in-law, the same satrap we talked about earlier, has shown up in my corner unexpectedly, with a woman told close by. Great Shah! That's not escaped my notice that your tax collector, Logada, is, shall we say, lacking the necessary skills to perform a job adequately. Therefore, I bring you a gift. Allah will serve you honorably. Another woman. This pretty much tells you that there's not a lot of, female Turco-Hephthalite names that are large amount of variety compared to the males. Since I'm seeing similar names again. Strong hook on him. Well. Logda will simply have to work harder. You hear me? Harder. I thought you said you were good. Oh well, maybe over time, with future events, I could help you. When is the next Grand Tour? 19 months. Because, here's something I need to do for next episode. Do a Grand Taxation Tour. Go visit all the vassals as much as I can. And then, subsequently, a cat. Alright. Give me it. Hidok would be the name. Yes, I know you have your issues with him. Because you're a sadist. And here is him. Oh, I don't want him back. You know what? Find me secrets. Hopefully you can find some dirt on him. That'd give me an excuse to get rid of him. That's... The realms have split. Oh, what's going on now? Tyranny. Speed to Manon's first moment. As I patiently wait the fetching of my clothes, the servant stutters. My lord, no one can find your garments. I'm surrounded by incompetence. I'm not a storm of an you. It's in the nursery of my son, Spita Manan, that I discovered not only my raiments, but also the boy's wet nurse. He had no part in it, my liege. He dressed himself, but I was responsible to giggle. Little scoundrel. Wouldn't want to call him the Prince of Fashion, unless he has one of those inheritable traits that increases his beauty, but he doesn't have that. In 5 years, Balkh would be under full control. But again, I'm willing to do a grand taxation tour for next episode. So that'll be in a year's time. Non-believer. 92 years old! Huh. Don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. Keep looking. Former spouse, what the heck? Loud scream cuts to the bus of my courtier. Hated Scotland, I'm the son of Malik Abraham. Now the time has come for you to answer your vile misdeeds. Face me, or the world will know that you are unwilling to defend your own honor. As I turn around and met by the burning eyes of a man consumed by the desire to defend the honor of his father. My guard's still nearby. If I wish I could have this hothead thrown out, humiliated, and impotent. Who the hell do you think you are? Who in the hell do you think you are? I accept the challenge. But this duel may lead to death, so be careful. He's brave and vengeful one. Come on. Hermes and I stalk around each other, each wearing our options. He hefts a fearsome sword, while I grip my own Turco-Hephthalite sword tightly. A deadly weapon feels cool and weighty in my grasp. This fight may be until first blood, but this doesn't ease my nerves. First strike. Throw silver at him. Hit him right in the face. Counters a fierce hail, quick slash almost running me through repeatedly. Form is good, only smaller. Stance formidable. That boy. Is that the best you got? You can't even hit me. So it has become harder to injure myself. Time and again, I backpedal, dodge, and weave. Always keep adjusting for the tempting target distance. Soon, enemies showed size of exhaustion. Enemies shifts to a defense stance. Sword forming a damned near impenetrable wall, perfect bridge between me and him. So he did the same move as me, basically. Strike, parry, pulse. leaving action, launching a very quick slashes, driving myself hard against his guard, wearing him down with each extra time strike. Torch carefully calculated, waiting for the precise right point to reply with quick slashes with his sword. Come on! Evenly matched. Try this. Again. I defeated him. Don't mess with me. As I take a stroll in the castle, I pass by the library, where my tax collector Logda seems in quite a despondent state. Oh, the sun! I cannot do this. These tax law changes are too old, too vague, too disorganized. How am I ever meant to find anything in here? I only wanted to check the minor detail before heading on to provinces again. Oh, don't get too stressed out. Calm down, we can look at it together. 88% chance that I reassure, and her learning and stewardship will increase. See? You're good again. Just do your job better. Spitamana is brave. Leave that with diplomacy. Continue the tradition. Teach him what I know. To ensure realm stability. Years ago, a famed Muslim mystic and ascetic named Sheikh Adi was active in Nineveh. He was respected by the locals, both those who practice Orthodox Islam and those who adhere to the old beliefs long held by the peoples of northwest Iran. The beliefs of these two groups and their deep veneration for Sheikh Adi blended together over the years and gave rise to a new religious ideas and practices in the isolated, rugged mountains and valleys of the region. Central to their beliefs are the seven angels, manifestations of God, which include not only Sheikh Adi, but Malik Tos, the peacock angel. This new spiritual tradition, called Yazidism, is gaining ground amongst the tribes here, though the followers established religions view them with suspicion at best, and treat them as degenerate infidels at worst. Huh. If you wish, you could convert to Yazidism no matter where you are. But obviously this would defeat the purpose of this playthrough. So, interesting news. So now it's possible to convert to Yazidism. Additionally, the Seven Angels doctrine is now available when creating a new faith within the West Iranic tradition, which you could do these two festivals. So now for context, the Kurds and northwest Iranian peoples more broadly are theorized to have ancient religious beliefs that were distinct from but connected to Zoroastrianism, this syncretized with Sufism, such as that which Sheikh Adi preached, to give rise to Yazidism. Thus, Yazidism in its present form emerged sometime after Sheikh Adi's death in the 1100s. So obviously in this playthrough it's 200 years before it. In the medieval period and into the early modern period, Yazidis were probably more widespread among the Kurds. For instance, the Ottomans appointed Yazidi emirs to rule some of their territories in Kurdistan, indicating the Yazidis held great political influence back then. Interestingly, the infamous misconception of the Yazidis being devil worshippers, which is often used to persecute them, and is not well attested until the 1500s and 1600s. This raises the possibility that they were considered heterodox Muslims and were seen as a separate group, only seen as a separate group later on, or that they were at least not viewed as hostilely by Muslims and Christians until much later. So now it exists. The Yazidi faith then. Don't spend it. Money's going elsewhere. Now you can propose one alliance without a marriage if you wish. I would love to be a diplomat. Again, I'm just at the period of, let's just calm down a bit. And if you want to control the counties even more, increase control more, well, you could spend half of the, well, almost half the money with this. I mean, I do want Balkh to be at full control as soon as possible. And I guess this is the best way to do it now. So, let's increase county patrols. In the present situation where so many counties in your domain enjoy so low control, it might be wise to increase the amount of patrols across your domain in order to more quickly recover from that dangerous situation. Remember, low control counties could pose a light risk if you happen to be traveling in them. So by significantly increasing the amount of patrols in the domain, so it will increase much faster. Especially in Balkh and Mujan. Pay for the patrols. So now it should take 3 years to get it under full control again. Should have done that earlier. What secret? What you got? Learn of Satrap's attempted murder. Well, we kind of knew that. Get a strong hook on him, yes. If you decline, which he won't. Gotcha. I would like for you to get the hell out of here, even though that's tyranny, but we gotta wait for the right time to do so. I want him out of there so that way I can have, you know, this part of this. Connect the rest of it. Because there's room for improvement in Turkmenistan. So use that at a later time. You could stop now. As the sun sets, I can't help but notice my warm wife, Benebshin, Mardita is yet again absent from our chambers. She had been so present and attentive in the past. But now she seems so far away, lost in the world of thoughts that I can't understand. She was rarely seen at court this week. Couldn't help but feel the sense of unease and tension here. Am I not good enough for her? Is she just busy and overly distracted? Or could she be slipping away into someone else's heart? Oh, I must investigate this myself. So I sat through the letters at Madita's desk and found hidden messages between her and her lover, showing plans to meet at odd times. My heart sank as I realized my suspicions were true. The lying hag has welcomed my cousin-in-law, Satrap, audition into her bed. As far as I could tell, it could happen once. It's a cold comfort in the face of a betrayal. He was one of the good ones, but he's gout-ridden. What do you see in that man? He's a good man to me, but... Oh dear. But she's known to be fickle, so... maybe the relationship isn't genuine. So I'll say, you have my forgiveness this time. Because it would not be wise to... I don't know. I probably wouldn't want to go against him. Just got a weak hook on you. For the longest time, it should be Zunist. Let's use that for that. Although, normally the vengeful soul in me would just say, you adulterer, get out, and have you divorced, but think about the practicalities. And plus, we don't have the time nor the money to be doing so. And also, I already laid with her before I found out that she was having a possible affair. So it didn't matter. We'll end this episode in January. Oh yeah, this guy barely cared about who is 94 years old and he's still alive. He's testing my limits. Let's give him a taste of his own medicine. He's a cowardly black god. How will Norman steal his ideas? Oh, by the way. Oh, you imprisoned your spouse. Whenever Kandanavaham raised his voice to speak, I yawned. Turned my attention somewhere else, or outright interrupted him. I was beginning to follow my example, and he grew more and more hesitant. Now he remains quiet, because, well, there we go. Ah, thank goodness. Got rid of that. Less danger here, and give it more chance for development to grow. Data consumption. Quick. Okay, stop. Okay, we'll end the episode here. Well, actually, just wait until we count down the days. Till, you know, we do that grand tour thing, but... However, we just don't have the money for all this. Just yet. 2, 1. So, in next episode, we got to do a taxation tour, which... Oh, there's so many damn places, so many damn vassals to visit. So, should just go trip around, ignore this goof, because I have an issue with him. And then back. This would be a long tour, but unfortunately that's not enough money, even if you reduce that. So at minimum, 272 is the cost, along with hire mercenary guards and Silk Road merchants, so 300 gold is what you need. So we'll do that in the next episode, as we will try to get to increase the control faster. And then after all this, we'll finally go back on the offensive. Start vassalizing. You know, them and them. Well, Shahis are no longer in charge. They're reduced to vassals down there. So either vassalizations or conquest. But most definitely, may have to use Invade Kingdom to grab it whole in one go. Whenever it gets exalted among men. Or the alternative, get back to antagonistic. So, Kashmir in northern India. Wait, Punjab would be easy. And then we have to take care of these bits. And also we need to use the money to create titles. Titles to usurp. And among other things. And that is when I will also finally use the reinforced decision to you know, to do the East Asian communities, because this gives me the ability to bring in East Asian specialists, which I recall one of the modifiers that they have is further reduces the title creation costs. So combination of the two makes things cheaper, so I won't have to spend as much. Just to, instead of visiting every little vassal, then we need to reduce the size of the said vassals. And all that and more. Especially subsequently that we would have to, you know, restore the Hephthalite Empire. Which again, you have to take Punjab, Kashmir, and Transoxiana. But we already do possess half of Khorasan. And of course, subsequently, I would also love to expand towards Khwarezmia and into Kashgar and Kushan is over there. And I did control Khotan as well. In which, if I still have Buddhist characters, maybe one day, when we expand towards Khotan, make a vassal there, I'll appoint a Buddhist there. And maybe Buddhist Khotan can return, which is a decision that they can do themselves. So that's my long-term plans for the rest of this series. Yes, so I have a lot more to think about, as I will have a little break from myself to give me to think about and such. So we hope you people have enjoyed this episode as we finally have formed the Hephthalite Kingdom. And a quest to form the Hephthalite Empire will begin. But all we need is money. Lots of it. But until the next episode, so long for now.